Hello everybody and welcome to another week of Makers Monday. I am Anastasia Radloff, aka A Stampa Blondie, and I'm excited to be back here with you for another week of live step-by-step crafting. Now, I am about 90% over the flu. I am on week 3 of being sick, and um, I'm feeling a lot better, but I just can't get rid of this cough and this stuffy nose. But I'm excited to be here with you this week to work on some projects. So let me just make sure that I'm live here over on Facebook and also on YouTube. Excuse me. If you're watching, make sure to comment, say hi, let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see where everybody is joining me from each week. All right, looks like I'm live here on Facebook and YouTube, so we are ready to go. So, like I said, I am on week 3 of being sick. I tested positive for flu A 3 weeks ago, and today is the first day that I have not taken any type of cold medicine or prescription medicine. Just hopefully it's finally on its way out. I've got my water over here in case I need to take some kind of water break. But thank you everybody for joining me this week. I'm happy to be back. Now today I'm going to be creating 3 projects featuring the Thankful Garden bundle. Now this item is from the Stampin' Up! Online exclusive, so you won't find it in any of our catalogs. And I am really excited to show you this because it not only has stamps and dies that coordinate with it, but it also has decorative masks, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use those. Carol said when she had the flu, she went on antibiotics for a sinus infection. So I've been to urgent care twice. The first time they gave me Tamiflu, and I don't feel like it really did anything for me. And then last week I went back to urgent care and I had to go to the hospital for x-rays to see if I had pneumonia. Luckily that was negative, but they gave me some more medicine, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it's on its way out and I don't develop a sinus infection. It's just, I got stuffy last week too, so I'm just ready to be over. I'm really sick of being sick. So Thankful Garden is what we're going to be using for this week's Makers Monday. Like I said, online exclusives, so not found in any of our catalogs. Stampin' Up! Is starting to release more and more online exclusives, so take a peek at those. There's designer series paper, embellishments, embossing folders, dies, like everything that the catalog carries. Additional items are found on our online exclusives too, so I'm very excited about that. So let's go ahead and swap the camera. I've got quite a bit to go over today because we didn't meet last week. So let's go ahead and swap the camera and get started. Sorry, I'm going to have to be clearing my throat a lot. And I have, like I said, I've got some water over here too. So first up is April's Club Craft and Create. So this actually features the Thankful Garden bundle that I'll be featuring here today as well. So Club Craft and Create is my subscription club. You can sign up for 1 month, you can sign up for more. It's however you want to participate. Each month you receive supplies to create 8 projects, 4 different cards to each of those different designs, a full step-by-step color project PDF tutorial, as well as a highlights video on how to put the projects together. So the deadline to register for this is actually tomorrow, and here is the Thankful Garden bundle. I wanted to show you guys that. Of course, I'll be talking about it a little bit more when we get to our projects. But you can add this bundle on to your Club Craft and Create. And here is kind of a sneak peek of the projects that you're going to be making. You receive a half package of the Lovely Garden Designer Series paper. This month you'll receive a package of the decorative masks that I'll be using here today. You'll receive embellishments, ribbons, all the supplies to create your projects. The only thing is that there's no stamped images in this class kit per Stampin' Up! Rules. So you can add on the bundle to your class kit if you like. If you sign up and you want to add on the bundle, just send me an email and I'll send you an invoice for that. Like I said, deadline to register for Club Craft and Create is tomorrow, and there's a link in the description of this video with all the details on what Club Craft and Create offers and how you can register for this month's event. Like I said, you can sign up for 1 month, you can sign up for multiple months, however you want to participate is up to you. So like I said, deadline is tomorrow for that. Let's get some of this out of the way here. Next up, the 2023-2025 in colors are retiring at this catalog season. So our annual catalog, each year we release 5 in colors and they stick around for 2 years. These 5 in colors were debuted back in 2023, so they're retiring this year. And all of the coordinating products for these items that are in these colors will be retiring. Some of the cardstock like Wild Week and Boho Blue are already sold out. But I've mentioned in my past Makers Monday videos that if you have ink pads, the refills for those inks are very important to have on hand to extend the longevity of your ink pads. So there is a link again in the description of this video with all the details on taking you directly to that page with all of the items that are retiring with these colors. So these will be while supplies last, and once they're gone, they're gone. So make sure to grab those items if any of these colors pique your interest. Moody Mauve, Copper Clay, Wild Wheat, Boho Blue, and Pebbled Path are the 5 that are leaving this annual catalog. Now, every year Stampin' Up! Debuts 5 new colors, and today I sent out the email about my 6th annual In Color Club. So every year I have an In Color Club where it's from May to September, and each month you receive all of the new items that feature 1 color each month. So you'll receive everything like a full package of cardstock, an ink pad, ink refill, Stampin' Write markers, Stampin' Blend markers, embellishments, ribbons, everything that is new in that color you'll receive in your In Color kit. It's 5 colors, 5 months, and 1 new collection. So at the end of those 5 months, you have every product from the new 2025-2027 In Color collection. Now, these items will be shipped out every month, and then August and September they will take just a little bit longer to receive to you because I am moving overseas in July. They'll still arrive USPS to you, so you don't have to worry about that, but it just may take a little bit longer for you to receive August and September's kits, but they're still on their way. All of the details on how to sign up for my In Color Club, there's a link in the description of this video. It tells you everything that you'll receive, how much it costs, and priority shipping is included each month. So this is one of my favorite things that I do every year, and it's a great way for those that are looking to budget your purchases. We all know that money can be tight these days, and each month you get a color that is in the package. I just realized I spelled strawberry wrong. I'm gonna have to go back and fix that. I was like, that doesn't look right. But this is a great way to budget your purchases so that at the end of those 5 months, you have everything that's brand new from these new 5 colors to be included in your In Color kit. So link in the description of this video. Deadline to register is April 25th, and then you don't have to pay anything right now. Payments don't start until May, so you have time to register now, and then come May is when you will be billed monthly for these In Color clubs. So this is my 6th annual In Color Club I'm hosting. If you want to see what the In Colors look like, I have them right here. So we have Strawberry Slush, Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, Cloud Cover, which it's kind of hard to see over the video, but this is more of a gray blue color. And then Secret Sea, which is more of a really dark green blue kind of color. So those are the 5 colors for my In Color Club. I host this every year. It's a lot of fun. If you have questions about In Color Club, feel free to send me a message and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Excuse me. All right. Last up, I have Prize Patrol. So, before we get into Prize Patrol, so I sent out a message on Facebook, or I posted on Facebook, I am switching up the way I'm doing annual catalogs this year. So in the past, if you had attended an event from me in the past 6 months or placed an order with me, you automatically received an annual catalog from me. I'm switching it up this year by only sending out catalogs to those that truly want them. So I have demonstrators that attend my events, and so they don't need an additional catalog when they already have their own. So there is a link in the description of this video if you want a copy of a catalog. Feel free to fill out that registration form. It's free, so you don't have to pay for catalogs. But I just want to make sure that they get into the hands of those that truly want them this year. So this is what the catalog looks like. It debuts in May. I can't show you the inside just yet, but I can show you the outside cover and products from the catalog that I have. So sign up for the catalog if you want it. I just want to make sure, like I said, I just want to make sure that those that truly want them get them this year. And we all know postage is expensive, and so I don't want to waste postage on somebody that may have already received it from somebody else or their demonstrator themselves. So fill out that link and I will send you a catalog later this month when they are ready to go out. All right, now we're ready for Prize Patrol. So 2 weeks ago, because we didn't have Makers Monday last week, as I'm still getting over this flu, 2 weeks ago, our Prize Patrol was a package of the Fruit Salad Designer Series paper, one of my favorite packages of paper from this year's celebration. Our winner for sharing this video was Candy Hansen. So congratulations, Candy. Thank you for sharing my video. All she had to do to be entered for Prize Patrol is to comment that she shared and to share this video, and she's entered each week. So Candy Hansen, thank you for sharing my video, and you are this week's Prize Patrol winner. So this week's Prize Patrol that I'm giving away is a package of polished pink cardstock. This is a retired color, no longer available through Stampin' Up. A full package of 24 sheets of cardstock. All you have to do is share the video, comment that you shared, and you're entered into this week's Prize Patrol. All right, let's get started. So, like I said, this week I'm featuring the Thankful Garden bundle. So this bundle features, oh, sorry, that was weird, 13 photopolymer stamp sets that have sentiments and images that go along with it. And I love stamp sets that have those all included in there. So the Thankful Garden is from the online exclusives. You won't find it in any of our catalogs. It also has a coordinating die set to go along with it. And the bundle also includes a decorative masks set. So you get 5 decorative masks, and I'm going to show you how to use these on one of our projects today. So if you've never worked with decorative masks, they're very simple, very easy to use, and they create a really beautiful project once you use them. So our projects that we're going to be creating today, so this is one of them. I wanted to highlight the poppy flower on this. So if you know me and you followed me for a while, the poppy flower is a big symbol on my website. It's my favorite flower because I called my dad Poppy growing up. And so this is a flower that I wanted to feature on here. So this is one of the cards we'll be creating. This one, I have these really beautiful blue hydrangeas that bloom in front of my house here in the summer in Rhode Island. And so I wanted to bring that to this project. And then this is the one that uses those decorative masks. I did not color this in with Stampin' Write markers, Stampin' Blend markers. This is all using decorative masks. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Excuse me. Now on my website and Facebook yesterday, I shared this project. So it's like a little seed packet here on the front. You can pull this out. You can put any kind of poppy or whatever kind of flowers you want. It's a little pocket there. But the best part about this is that it's a regular sized card too. So you can put a little message in here. I wouldn't suggest mailing it. It's quite thick when you turn it to the side. But this is a great card to gift to those that love to garden. You could use this as a gift card holder as well, but I wanted to put some poppy seeds in here. I just created a little pocket. I measured out a piece of cardstock that would fit around the seeds. I scored it so it folds back just a little bit, and then it's on here it was Stampin' Dimensional, so you can just pull the seeds right out of that to swap those out. Okay, let's see. Oh, right here. So don't forget, each week I offer a project PDF tutorial that has the details on the products and the item numbers of all the supplies that I'm using on my 3 cards today. So it has a front and back side, so don't forget to print that out, stampinblondie.com. You can find that, that's free. And then I also offer these as a class kit to go. So this is what the card kit looks like. No stamped images come in these kits, but if you place an order of $35 or more on my website, no host code needed, just on the website, I will send you this packet, and it has the supplies to create the 3 projects that I'm featuring here today. All right, I need to take a sip of water, and then we will get started. Okie dokie. So we're gonna do that one last because it's it's not messy, but it has some parts to it that take a little bit. Okay, so we are going to start with our poppy card here. This features our basic white cardstock, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. We have 3 sheets of lovely Garden Designer Series paper. Now this is the Designer Series paper. I've used a lot of it, so it's kind of in the packs, but you can see the back side. The front is all colorful, and then the back of each of the pieces is black and white, so you can mix and match black and white and colorful pieces together, but I like the colorful side more, so that's what we'll be using on our projects. So basic white cardstock is our card base here. So let's get out our bone folder here to crisp up our line. Hello, Penny. Hi, Carol. Hello, everybody. Diana. Thank you all for watching. So I have 3 pieces of that Designer Series paper. This is 1 1/2 by 3 1/2. And what we're going to do is we're just going to lay them down the side of our card base. I'm not going to glue anything down just yet. I want to make sure that kind of everything is lined up where I want it, and then when we have it, we're going to glue this all down. Hello, Betty. I hope you had an amazing time at Disney. I loved seeing your pictures. She went to Disney for her birthday. It looks like she had an amazing time. I love going to Disney for my birthday. All right, so we're just going to glue these down so they align to the right side of our card base. Okay, I had this going right before I went live, so now I'm going to get glue all over my fingers. Hello, Susan from Canada. Now, I don't know my Canadian geography very well, so is Alberta, Canada, is that East Coast, West Coast, middle of Canada? Where's Alberta at? I'm terrible with Canadian geography. I've been to Canada once. It was St. John's. And it was just for a day. So it wasn't very long trip. All right, so we have our 3 pieces of our Designer Series paper on here. Now I'm going to take a spare piece of basic white cardstock, and we're going to stamp let's get these out of the way. We're going to stamp our poppies here. And we're going to be using Stampin' Blends on these. So we want to use our Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And we've got our big poppy flower on our clear block E. And we're just going to get this all inked up here. Okay, West Coast. Okay. Yep, I've never been to West Coast Canada. I was supposed to go to West Coast Canada on a cruise in 2020, and we all know what happened that year that I didn't get to go. I was supposed to go to an Alaskan cruise that year. We had it all scheduled and ready to go, and bam. So I'm going to be using, on this one, we're going to be using Lemon Lolly Stampin' Blends, light and dark, and then also the dark Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blends. Now, as you can see, these three colors work really well together. Even though Lemon Lolly is quite light compared to Daffodil Delight, we're still going to layer the three markers together to achieve the look that we want. So Stampin' Up! Doesn't have Stampin' Blends in all of our color family colors. And that is because some of our Stampin' Blends, the light color could be substituted for a color that we have. So like we don't have Garden Green Stampin' Blends, but if you use some of these together, like this is Old Olive, you could get the color that you need. And I'll show you that on one of our other ones. So while Daffodil Delight is, like I said, quite lighter than, or Lemon Lolly is quite lighter than Daffodil Delight, we're going to layer the two colors together to get what we want. So we've got the light color down here, and then we're going to just highlight the middle with the dark Lemon Lolly. And then this is just really to kind of darken up that center. And then we're going to come in with the dark Daffodil Delight and really just highlight those little lines on here to kind of get it really dark in the middle there. And I am not following the lines of the stamp. I'm just doing squiggles in the inside. So you can really see the color variation on there. Now for our stem, we're going to use light Old Olive, because like I said, this paper here is Garden Green, so there's no Stampin' Blends that are that color. So I'm just going to use my greens that are kind of in that color family. That will work. So we have Old Olive here. And when I'm coloring these in, I don't want them to completely go to the edge. I want a little bit of that white to show through. If you like, you could color yours all the way to the edge so it's completely filled in, but I like to give it a little bit of white around the edge here. And you can see how quickly these can be colored in. It's very fast. Oh, I'm so sick of being sick. I told my mom, I talked to my mom the other day about that. I was like, I'm just sick of being sick. It's 3 weeks. I'm over it. I've taken the drugs. I've taken everything that I can. I was taking cough syrup for a week, and then I was like, that can't be good for like my liver. So I just kind of went off the cough medicine, and it's beyond anything else I want to do now. All right, so I used the dark Garden Green to just highlight those leaves, and now we're going to die cut this. So we've got our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. The best part is that these dies do fit in the mini machine, so we don't need to lug out the big one. Now when you're using these dies, oh, they're all tangled up. There we go. When you're using the dies, you want to make sure that you definitely have some kind of washi tape on hand to hold down your die so that it doesn't move on you when you're running it through the machine. You just spent that time coloring and you don't want the die to move and then you have to do it all over again. So I just have some paper tape here, and then we will run this through the machine. All right, hi Jan, hello. There we go, and this is just gonna run through here. Crunching and cracking noises, that's normal, it's just your paper getting cut. And we have our flower. Now when you take off your washi tape, just be really gentle. It can rip your paper, so you just want to lift, and then you have this really beautiful die cut flower. And you could do a whole variety of these. These don't have to just be poppy colors. You could do, you know, reds and oranges, but I think when you design using flower images, they could really be whatever color you want them to be. So on the back of our flower, we're just going to add liquid glue here. And this is going to go off to the side there. Our sentiment, so this one, we're going to use the one that says, "You make a difference." Now the images on the outside, normally Stampin' Up! Images on the outside of their stamp boxes are true to size. But sometimes, because the images are too big, there's a little disclaimer. Oh, let me make sure I'm going the right way. Sorry. It says images at 75%. So that means it's 75% smaller on the front of the stamp case. So You Make a Difference, it's much larger. And we're going to use that one for our sentiment here. And I may stamp off the screen. I just want to make sure I get it in the middle of this. Now, when I was building this, I wanted the yellow to really stand out from this background piece right here. So I used crushed curry cardstock. So we literally have every yellow represented on this card that Stampin' Up! Offers right now. And then we are going to use Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of this so that it's going to pop out. And going to go right at the bottom here. And we're going to add, these are the new Starburst sequins. Oh, let me get that out of the way so you can see them. They have these really fun little Starburst images on them. I originally got these because you can turn the white ones whatever color you want with your Stampin' Blends, but I'm going to use them in their true yellow fashion here. So we're going to use 3 of the yellow Starburst ones, and they're flat. So these are great to mail on projects too. 3 right down the edge there. And that is our first project featuring the Thankful Garden Bundle. Quick, simple. I wouldn't say it's quick. It takes a little bit to put this one together. But it's really pretty. Oh, why can't I get anything in the camera today? There we go. I like the little the flower with the patterns in the background. It doesn't seem like too much. It's kind of different layout than I'm used to using, but then you have the 3 little sequins right there, and it's very, very fun to put together. Okay, I'm going to put these back in here. Because they're flat, I just don't want them to come off of the thing so easily. All right, next up, we're going to do our blue hydrangea card. So like I said, when I moved into this house, it was July, and there is 1 blue hydrangea and 1 purple hydrangea on either side of our door, front door. And now this may not be a true hydrangea flower, but to me it looks like a hydrangea flower, so that's what I'm going to call it. So I wanted to use kind of a brighter blue. Mine's more of like a, let's see, bashful blue, but I really liked this Summer Splash cardstock, and I haven't used it in a while, so I really wanted to bring that color in. So we have Summer Splash cardstock and a piece of that Lovely Garden Designer Series paper. Here's the back side. This is what we used on our previous card. We're going to put our cardstock off to the side. And we're gonna first layer a piece of fresh Highland Heather cardstock to this. So we're gonna glue that straight down here. And the reason I am not adding this to the card base just yet is because it's gonna go on with dimensionals, and I want that to be the last step, because then it'll be a little easier to layer everything together when it's not popped up on here. Now I have a piece of basic white cardstock. I just want to make sure my orientation is right when I stamp this, because it is 4 1/4 by 4, so I just want to make sure that I'm stamping it the right direction. And we're going to use that hydrangea stamp, or whatever it is. I'm going to call it hydrangea. With our Memento ink, because we're going to color this in again with Stampin' Blends. So let's get that all inked up, and it's going to go right in the middle here. Now we're also going to do some other little fun techniques on here as well. I'm not sure if you noticed these on the side, but we're gonna do some splattering on there too. So the little leaf is Old Olive ink. So we got that. And then I'm gonna take the light Summer Splash Stampin' Blend, and we're gonna do the flicking for that. So first we're gonna stamp our 3 leaves, and because we're gonna make a mess here, we're gonna cover our workspace. So we're gonna ink up our leaf, and that's gonna go here, and then we're gonna do another one down here. Hello Shar from Wisconsin. And we're gonna do another one right there. So I didn't want to color these in because I wanted to keep the focus on that hydrangea. So what we're going to do is, like I said, we're just going to take our Stampin' Blend and we're going to do some flicking to get a little bit of a splatter on there. So if you aren't familiar with this technique, we're going to take the brush end of our marker, and on the inside of our cap, we're going to lightly flick the ink on the inside of the cap. Now, lightly is the key word. If you press too hard, you could damage your Stampin' Blend. So very, very light, and you want to make sure kind of everything else is away, because it can go a little off the beaten path here. So we're just going to go close, and we're just going to do a couple little flicks on there, a couple there, and a couple there. So here you can see what it looks like. Just a little bit of color on there, not very much. Just a little hint of something in the background. Now while we have our Summer Splash, we're gonna color in these. Now, I did not color in the entire background. I just did what is lined with the flowers. So we're just gonna color these in. I'm gonna use this side. I feel like the brush tip gets a little bit wild for these smaller areas. So we're just gonna color this in. And I'm just gonna color these in quickly because I like to leave that white space. So if you've not worked with Stampin' Blends, they are alcohol-based markers. They do tend to feather just a little bit. So you don't wanna go too close to that black line because it can fill in the lines for you. Here we go. And oh, I'm so sick of being sick. Like I said, I went to urgent care for the 2nd time last week because I could not stop coughing. And so they gave me some extra meds. I had to go to the ER for x-rays. Luckily, no pneumonia, but man, this flu is not a joke. I have been sick since I returned from Raleigh's Stampin' Up! Event, and I'm just ready to be done. I mean, I'm not contagious anymore, so I'm still out and like doing stuff. because they told me as long as I don't have a fever, I'm not contagious. So I haven't had a fever since like the first few days. But it's not fun being able to not breathe. Alright, so this one does take a little bit longer to color in, but we're not doing any die cutting on this one. So I figured it was okay to take a little bit longer on this one to color in all of the things. While I'm coloring, did anybody do anything fun this past weekend? We went to, so if you've never had Korean barbecue, so most of you know we're moving to Korea this summer. And there's a Korean barbecue place very close, like half-hour away from here in Dartmouth, Massachusetts. And so I took my, this is the dark Summer Splash I'm using. So we went and got Korean barbecue, and Korean barbecue is where they have the little grill in the middle and you cook it yourself. And it cooks very, very fast, and it's so good. So we had that. And we were supposed to go back in February for my husband's birthday. But that's when he had his emergency appendectomy, and we were in the ER. So we are just falling apart over here. Okay, so what I did is I just took the dark and kind of filled in the middle areas just to give it some highlight. And then we're going to take Granny Apple Green for our leaves. I wanted those to be really bright too. And so, oh wait, did I use Old Olive? No, I used Old Olive on this one because it is the same color as our stamp that we did. So Old Olive, that's what I did. Shar, you're on your second week of antibiotics for sinus infection and you can't shake it. I know, it's like, I feel like this year is really bad. Like, I have not been more sick than I have been since we've moved to Rhode Island. I got sick back in October, and then I went to the military here had a holiday ball at one of the Newport mansions, so I went to that and I got COVID. And then that was at Christmas time, and then now I'm sick here, and it's been 3 weeks, so Rhode Island is not a fan for me and being sick. All right, now we're going to take our dark marker, dark Old Olive, and we're just going to highlight the leaves like we did on the last one, just following the lines that are on the stamp. Here we go. Alright, we've got that all stamped and colored in, so we are going to attach this now to our Highland Heather. And then this will go right in the middle here. Luckily my voice is back though. My voice was gone for about a week. You guys got to hear a little bit of it 2 weeks ago on Maker's Monday, but after that it got worse, and it was really bad. I did not have a voice, and the cough just would not stop. Okay, so we got our Stampin' Dimensionals, and we're gonna add this now to our card base. You could see how the reason why I would put that together was a lot easier for that. Now we've got a piece of fresh freesia cardstock for the sentiment. And we're going to stamp this in Highland Heather ink. And it says, "Thankful for you, friend." So there's our sample. And stamp that. And it's going to go right here. We're going to cut the edges at an angle. And that will be our sentiment piece that's going to go onto our lower right corner here. This is just going to go on with liquid glue because we don't want to add any more dimensionals. It's already kind of popped up enough here. And then we're going to add 2 of the Starburst sequins. 1 large one up here, and then a smaller one next to it. And that is our second project featuring the Thankful Garden bundle. So this is to show you how you can just use the stamp as a regular stamp. Our first project was a stamp and a die cut. And now our last project, this one is going to be a stamp, die cut, and the decorative masks. So I'm going to show you how to do everything. Now this is more of an advanced stamper project. It will take a little bit longer to put together because it does have quite a few steps to it. So here I'm going to zoom in so you can see. This is all done by the decorative masks. I did not color any of this in with Stampin' Blends. It is all done by the masking process. So these are the 5 decorative masks. They have sides, one for the poppy side, one for the hydrangea side that we just did, and they are numbered. It's hard to kind of see, but you can see upper left hand corner, they're numbered, so that's how you know which layer to go in. There's some for stems and the flowers, and it's part of this bundle. So if you get the bundle, it does come with the decorative masks. If you sign up for Club Craft and Create, these masks are included in your kit this month. All right, so you're going to start, I'm going to bring in my, we're definitely going to need our workspace covered. So we're going to take just a spare piece of basic white cardstock. First thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp our poppy flower. And we're just going to use regular Tuxedo matte black ink. So we're going to stamp this on here. Yes, Melissa, the masks are fun. I will admit these are the first ones I've had. I've seen other ones that Stampin' Up! Has had in the past. These are the first ones that really kind of spoke to me, that stuck out, that I wanted to get. So I hadn't used them before, but they are very fun. I really like them. All right, so we're going to take these masks, and they're very simple to use. So we're going to take the first 3, which are the flower. We're going to do the flower first. So we're going to start with mask 1, and all you want to do is line up the mask in coordination with the way you stamped your image. So you just kind of line it up here. And what I like to do is I like to bring back in my washi tape, and I'm going to use that washi tape to hold down both the mask and the paper. I don't want either of them to move while I am doing this process. So let me lift everything. You can see it's lined up right there. Now these masks are very easy to clean, so all you have to do is take like a baby wipe or wash it off with water, and they're very simple to clean off. You don't have to have any kind of special cleaner for them. I just like to wipe them off, let them air dry, and they'll be good to use over and over again. Now on the flower, I'm using 3 different colors. I'll be using Bubble Bath, Fresh Freesia, and Highland Heather. Now when you use the masks, you want to start with the lightest color first, and then you'll build to the darker colors. The best way to use these is with your Stampin' blending brushes. So we have our 3 brushes here, and I'm going to start, like I said, with Bubble Bath first. Let me get these out of the way since I just wanted to show you guys how to use those first. So let's get this out here too. And with our blending brushes, you want to swirl the brush in the ink, kind of tap it on your paper just to kind of give the excess ink off. And then you kind of want to hold it down a little bit just so it doesn't wiggle. And then you just swirl in a circle motion. Now, these are buildable, so you can add as much ink as you want, and you can go as dark as you want too. So you can just kind of layer and layer, and it'll get darker and darker depending on your image. So there's our first one. You can see just a slight color on there. And we're going to lift it off, take up our washi tape, and then there's our flowers. So super simple here. Yes, you can use the same color over and over and it will get darker and darker. But because here I really wanted to show the variation of the mask, we're going to use those 3 different colors. But yes, you can use the same color and just layer them on top and it'll get darker and darker. So our bubble bath is going to go off to the side with our blending brush. And next we're going to bring in, mine says Razzleberry from, but it's actually my Fresh Freesia one now. So next is our Fresh Freesia, and we are going to do the same thing. So we're going to find mask number 2 and then line this up just like we did the last one. So it's all the same. You line it up with the outside lines of the stamp that you did. So once it's all lined up where you want it, washi tape to hold everything in place. And then you bring in your blending brush. So brush, tap, and swirl. Very simple. And like I said, these are buildable, so you can get as dark as you want with them. But just for Makers Monday, I'm just gonna kind of go faster and you can see, get the gist of it here. All right, moving on. So now we're lifting this layer off here and you can see, you could even stop with those 2 right there. That's still a really beautiful color combination there, but we are gonna go for the whole thing. And now we're gonna do our Highland Heather. So mask number 3. Now this one's a little bit trickier because you have to kind of gauge where this one's gonna go in the middle. It doesn't have like lines, but it'll still look good no matter where you line this one up. So washi tape, Highland Heather, blending brush, swirl, tap, mask. Swirl, tap, and mask. And then lift it up, and there you go. Look how beautiful that is. Now, you could do a technique where you just spot color. Now, I got a little bit of ink there. It's okay. We're going to die cut it, so it doesn't matter. You could do a technique where you just do a spot color. So you just color in the flowers and you leave the stems white, or you could color those in with Stampin' Blends if you want, but we're going to color in the stems with the masks as well. So for this one, I'm using Old Olive and Granny Apple Green. So again, light to dark first. So we're going to start with mask number 4, and we're going to use this one because it lines up here with our stamp. And I just want to make sure that it's right where I want it. And then we're going to hold everything down and do the same thing with the leaves. And Granny Apple, tap. Oh, I want to tap that. I don't want that so dark. I'm just going to do one pass of the Granny Apple on this one because I got a lot on there. It's really pretty when it's like, look how beautiful that looks. I didn't have to color anything in. It's super simple. And you can use these masks over and over again. That's the best part. And then the last one we're gonna do with our Old Olive here. And I just want everything to be lined up perfect. That looks good, right? There. And that, this, and our Old Olive. Now the Old Olive is, you could go a little bit darker on this one, but there we go. That's good enough for me. Like I had mentioned earlier, poppies don't have to be your traditional red, yellows, and oranges. They could be purples with your Highland Heather bubble bath and your fresh freesia. So beautiful. You can see the color variations on all of that. And it's, I mean, anybody could put this together. You don't have to have certain skill level to do that. Now, like I mentioned, we are gonna die cut this, so it doesn't matter, I got ink on the side. So we're just going to line up our die. So I wanted to show you that we used the stamp with just the flower. We did the dies with the flower, and then we're doing the mask. And you could just do the mask by itself too, and I will show you what that looks like in a minute here. Let me cut this out and I'll show you what the mask looks like without the stamp around the outside too, because that's a different way you can do that. All right, so this is gonna go. Peel that off gently. You don't want to rip the paper that you just worked really hard to color all that in. And then you end up with this really beautiful flower. That looks like it's almost designer series paper. I will give myself kudos for that. That looks really, really professional, I will say. All right, bringing in our card. So we are going to use our Fresh Freesia card base for this one. I want to tie in all those purples. Now, I pulled my color inspiration from my designer series paper. So I have that Lovely Garden designer series paper. So that's where I got the inspiration to do purples for my flower. And we're going to adhere that to our piece of basic white cardstock to get a mat here for this. And then we're gonna glue this down to our card base. Yes, so this would be very pretty with Strawberry Slush. I have the Strawberry Slush ink. I haven't used it yet with this set. I haven't used any of my in color inks yet. I've been too sick to do anything. So this, I wanted to show you guys, this is the new Textured Notes die set. So this is what it looks like. You get all these different rectangles and look at the different outlines on all of them. So I love a die set that you can use for multiple stamp sets to coordinate with it. So the Textured Notes, it is part of a bundle, but you can get the dies just by themselves, and that's what I did. I didn't get the stamp set to go with it. I just got the dies because I really liked just the dies to go along with it. Now our sentiment is going to be the one that says "with love," and we're going to stamp that in the lower corner of our die here. And this is Highland Heather ink. So again, tying in all those purples that we used for our project here. The flower is going to get glued on first with our multi-purpose liquid glue. That'll go right there in the middle. This would be a great card for like a sympathy card, a birthday card. This is a very good multiple occasions project that it doesn't have to have a specific, it's not like just a birthday card. You can use it for multiple things, which is really good to have on hand. Right, there we go. This is gonna go, let me make sure my card's going the right way. Yep, that's gonna go in the middle here. And I'm gonna use, this is the 1/4 inch white ribbon, and I got this because I like to color with Stampin' Blends. Again, a way to kind of stretch your supplies and make them work in different ways. I did not color this with Stampin' Blends. I just wanted to keep it white. I didn't want too much purple on here. I know some people say you can never have too much purple, but I just wanted it to be just a little light suggestion here. So we're gonna add this on with a mini glue dot. I would not suggest using liquid glue on this ribbon just because it is kind of meshy. It's not complete mesh, but the liquid glue could kind of ooze out the sides. And there is our last project today, featuring the Thankful Garden bundle. So this shows how to use the masks with a stamp set. Now let me show you how to use the masks without a stamp. So one of the projects for this month's Club Craft and Create. So this is what it looks like without the black outline. So this is just strictly the masks, so you can see the difference. The black outline really makes it stand out from each other, but the masks makes it a little bit softer, so you could really kind of just play with it however you want. So that's our third project today. Let me bring them all in. Let me know which one is your favorite this month. We have our decorative masks, our blue hydrangea, or our yellow poppies. So let me know which is your favorite this week. I have to say, it's a toss-up. I love all of them because they have different, like, I don't know, like I love the poppies because it's poppies. I love the hydrangeas because they remind me of my house here. And I love the masks because it's just such a beautiful project to put together. So let me know which one is your favorite this week. All right, well, thank you for joining me for another week of Makers Monday. I look forward to being with you again next week as we work on some projects step by step together. Don't forget, tomorrow is the last day to sign up for April's Club Craft and Create featuring today's Thankful Garden Bundle. Link is in the description of this video with all the details on how to register for that event. I look forward to seeing you next week, and until